Hi, good morning children. I think you all are ready to attend to the class, okay? Can we start today's class? I hope you all are fine. So, what we are discussed last class? Yes, the features of democracy. Am I right? So, we discussed two features of democracy. Can you remember which are they? Yes, first one, major decision by elected leaders. Second one, what was the second feature? Yes, free and fair electoral competition. Free and fair electoral competition. So, the third feature, it is one person, one value, one vote. Sorry, one person, one vote, one value. One person, one vote, one value. Very interesting, I think. One person, one vote and one value. Why it is saying that one person, one vote, one value? You know that the struggle for democracy it is closely connected or linked with the universal adult franchise. When the leaders or national leaders and the constitution makers, when the freedom struggle, if it is going on, the one of the most important voice it raised it in that time, it was equality or connected with the universal adult franchise. Already you know that what is the meaning of universal adult franchise. Yes, what is it? Those who got or those who got 18 years and above, they have the right to cast their vote in election activities or election. In an election, each and every adult citizens of India has the right to cast their vote according to their wish. That is known as a universal adult franchise. So, almost all over the world, these principles accepted. That is one interesting fact. Almost all over the world, this principle, it is a very good principle. What it is? Universal adult franchise. All over the world, this principle accepted. But one thing is there. No one is ready to follow all the norms and conditions of this. That is the problem. Okay. And then also different parts of the world, denial of equal rights to vote. What I said? Almost all the parts of the world, it is practicing universal adult franchise. But most of these areas itself, denial of the rights, avakasha nishedhanam allengil avakasha lengkhanam nadakkunnu. On the basis of their caste, on the basis of the gender distinction. So, these all it is happening in case of the universal adult franchise most of the parts of the world or areas or regions of the world. And thus we can understand by a few examples. That means most of the countries, they are declaring that they are universal adult franchise is there, but their denial of rights are happening. Avakasha lengkhanangal nadakkunnu. For one example, I will tell you, in Saudi Arabia, women do not have the right to vote. You know that it is a kingship is there, hereditary kingship, you know that. So, but now at present Saudi Arabia changed their rigidity in few cases, okay, that because of people raise their voice against this denial of the rights and about the license and some other cases they give some concessions, okay. So, whatever may be, Saudi Arabia women do not have the right to vote. So, it is we can say that gender distinction is there, gender distinction. And in Estonia, that is one example of Saudi Arabia. When we are going or when we are studying about Estonia, we can understand that the Russian minority people find difficult to get the right to vote. Estonia's Russian minority means less in number. Russian ഗ്രൂപ്പുകാർക്ക് it finds to difficult or finds difficult to get the right to vote. അവർക്ക് വോട്ടവകാശത്തിന് ഇത്തിരി ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. To whom? Russian minority people in Estonia. And also why they are according to their native place there is a distinction. Next one, in Fiji, vote of the original Fijians. Or Fijiile original Fijians their vote or has more value than the Indian Fijians. ഒറിജിനൽ ഫിജിയൻസിൻ്റെ വോട്ടിന് വളരെയധികം വാല്യൂ ആണ് ആരേക്കാളും ഇന്ത്യൻ ഫിജിയൻസിന്. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ നിന്നും ചെന്ന് കുടിയേറിപ്പാർത്ത അങ്ങനെ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇന്ത്യൻ ഫിജിയൻസിൻ്റെ വോട്ടിനേക്കാൾ വാല്യൂ മോർ ടു ഹും ഒറിജിനൽ ഫിജിയൻസ്. Now we understood there is a discrimination on behalf of the gender, native places and the related with their blood relations. So my dear children, can we say that it is a democratic form of election, or can we say that it is a free and fair election, or can we say that everyone has got the right to vote? Universal adult franchise is working properly in these areas? No, never. Am I right? So here you see in Fiji, what is the third feature of democracy? One person, one vote, one value. But in Fiji what happened? Original Fijians, their vote has more power or value than the Indian Fijians. Got it? That is why first we discussed that almost all over the world the countries are ready to accept the law, or that is the right universal adult franchise. But originally they are not at all following the norms and conditions of this. Okay. From the example of Saudi Arabia, Estonia and Fiji, you understood this. Am I right? In a democracy, there is a fundamental principle, that is political equality. In democracy, it must be there. That means political equality. രാഷ്ട്രീയ സമത്വം ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. That is political equality. Can you see this principle in above example? No. Am I right? From the example of Saudi Arabia, from the example of Estonia, from the example of Fiji, we didn't see this equality or political equality. We cannot see. Am I right? Okay. So we can conclude the third feature, that is the democracy. In a democracy, each adult citizens must have one vote and each vote have one value. How can we conclude? In a democratic country, each person have, or each adult citizen must have one vote. എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു വോട്ട് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. And each vote must have one value. എല്ലാ വോട്ടിനും, എല്ലാവരുടെ വോട്ടിനും ഒരു മൂല്യമായിരിക്കണം. Don't discriminate the people on the basis of their native place, basis of their gender, color, caste, everything. Now you got it. And dear children, next I think you got the third feature of the democracy. What is the third feature of the democracy? One person, one vote, one value. Got it? Can we move to the fourth feature of democracy? I think you all are ready. Shall I? Yes. The fourth feature, it is rule of law and the respect for right. Rule of law and respect for rights. Rule of law and respect for rights. So it is the last feature of democracy. So we have to discuss it. What was the first one? Major decisions by elected rulers. Second one, free and fair electoral competition. Third one, one person, one vote, one value. What is the fourth one? Yes, fourth one, rule of law and respect for rights. Very simple. Rule of law. You know what is rule of law? Everyone should be equal before law. Everyone are equal before law. If a poor people in our country did a mistake or commit a mistake, President of India commit a mistake, the punishment or the decisions or the law should be equal for both the persons or both the personalities. Now you got it. Rule of law, from the example of a Zimbabwe, we can discuss this. When we are taking different countries' political system, we can understand each and every feature. So here we are going to take an example of a Zimbabwe. We can discuss it. Zimbabwe attained independence from white minority rule in 1980. Zimbabwe, 1980. Zimbabwe attained independence from white minority. They also was under the control of white people. So they got independence from white minority in 1980. 1980 Zimbabwe സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം നേടിയത് from white minority, white people. This country was ruled by ZANU-PF. What is ZANU-PF? The party that led by freedom struggle. Freedom struggle nu vendi poradiya party ayirunnu ZANU-PF. 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 This party was led a freedom struggle for Zimbabwe. And the leader of this party was, you might have heard the name, recently he died, okay? He was a strong leader, powerful. And the leader of this party was Robert Mugabe. Robert Mugabe. Ruling the country since independence. സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം കിട്ടിയ അന്നു മുതൽ സിംബാബ്വെ ഭരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് ZANU-PF, the party, the leader was Robert Mugabe. You just imagine that 1980 onwards, Zimbabwe was ruled by one party. Leader was Robert Mugabe. And we can discuss more about ZANU-PF party and Robert Mugabe. Elections have been held regularly and always won by ZANU-PF. That is the magic. Regularly they are conducting elections. There is no other obstacles and or there is no problem. Elections are going on smoothly. Who will win? Only the party ZANU-PF. Okay. Who was the leader? Robert Mugabe. President Robert Mugabe is popular. He was so popular, but also uses unfair practices in election. He was a popular leader, but what happened? He is always using dirty tricks and malpractices, unfair practices, not fair practices, unfair practices in their elections. His government changed the constitution many times to increase the power of the president and make him less accountable. You just think about their dirty tricks. What the party and Mugabe did? His government changed the constitution of Zimbabwe. Zimbabweയുടെ ഭരണഘടന പോലും മാറ്റി എഴുതി, changed it. More amendments, changed the constitution many times, not one or two times, many times. Why they changed the constitution of Zimbabwe? You know, to increase, to write, to add the powers of the president. പ്രസിഡന്റിൻ്റെ അധികാരങ്ങൾ കൂടുതൽ കൂട്ടിച്ചേർക്കാൻ, അധികാരങ്ങൾ ഉയർത്തിക്കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ they changed the constitution of Zimbabwe. And also one more motive was there. What was another motive? It was make him less accountable. ജനങ്ങളിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന ചോദ്യശരങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നും എതിർപ്പുകളിൽ നിന്നും മറികടക്കാൻ. That is why they used these dirty tricks. What they did? They changed the constitution of Zimbabwe. You know that each and every country should lead or rule on the basis of the constitutional policies, constitutional laws. So if the constitution is changing means they can do their own. That they did. Zimbabwe's ZANU-PF for the Robert Mugabe's party did it. And opposition party workers were harassed. There were opposition parties are there, but they were harassed by the ruling party and their meetings were disrupted. What do you mean by disrupted? തടസ്സപ്പെടുത്തുക. Opposition parties, party meetings and their activities disrupted by this ruling party or Robert Mugabe's party. Got it? Public protest and demonstrations against the government are declared illegal. Now you understood how the party is regularly winning. Now you understood? Yes, if the public protest or the people are demonstration against the ruling party or Mugabe's party, or people are conducting any meetings or any protest activities related with the criticism or against the Mugabe's party, they are or these all activities are declared as illegal. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള പ്രൊട്ടസ്റ്റ് ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസിനെ ഇല്ലീഗലായിട്ട് പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചു, നിയമവിരുദ്ധമായി പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചു. No one has the right to criticize the government. No one has to criticize the activities of Robert Mugabe. If they are doing so, it is declared as what? Illegal. നിയമവിരുദ്ധമായി പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചു. Got it? That means people have no right to protest or criticize against the government. They have no right. There is a law that limits the right to criticize the president. That is why they amended, that is why they changed the constitution. No one has the right to criticize the president and his activities. Television and radio controlled by government. Medias also controlled by the government. Otherwise what the medias, what they will do? They will criticize the ruling parties. So it will affect the government. That is why they controlled the medias also, and only can give the ruling party's opinion and the version. Ruling party's opinion and version and their good qualities or good things only can depict or only can express, only can telecast through these medias or this printed media or television or radio, whatever may be. The opposition parties views, opinion, they can never express. Okay, so the party or the ZANU-PF or Robert Mugabe, they control the activities of the television and radio also. There were independent newspapers. സ്വതന്ത്രമായി വർത്തിക്കുന്ന ന്യൂസ്പേപ്പേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Independent newspapers were there. They are not at all including any party, but the government harasses those journalists. Independent newspapers also have no right to do their duty. They are harassed by the party. The journalists were harassed by the ZANU-PF party or by Mugabe. The government pressurized the judges also. When we studied in our 8th standard, there were separate organs of the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. Judiciary is known as an independent organ. No one cannot influence them. But what happened here in Zimbabwe? The leaders are influencing or pressurizing the judges also. You just imagine that. What will be the peace of that country? What will be the law and order of that country? We can imagine that. They just ignored some court judgments also. Court judgments this party ignored. തള്ളിക്കളഞ്ഞു. Okay. So dears, from the example of Zimbabwe, what you got? Yes, it is the popular approval of the rulers is necessary. Ruler may be powerful, but what it is needed? Popular approval or powerful approval of the leaders are needed or necessary in a democratic country. But it is not sufficient. And the government leaders and election, all the factors, these factors should be democratic. Leaders should be popular and approved by all the people. And the election should be leaders and the government, the leaders and the election, all those factors should be democratic. Okay. And if we wish to assess a democracy, it is very important to look at the elections. When we are observing the election activities of a country, we can understand that whether they are following democratic policies or not, or whether they are doing any malpractices or not, or if it is a free and fair election or not. Okay. And also it is equally important to look before and after the election. Before the election and after the election, we have to observe well. All these activities before and after should be, that means impartial, and also without any malpractices and dirty tricks. Means they have free to think. All the people should be free to think, free to express their views and opinion, chance to express these in public and to form associations, to protest and to take political actions. Everyone should be equal in the eyes of law. Everyone should get the chance to contest a campaign, free to think free and express their views and ideas, and to form organizations. These all are the very important part and parcel of the democratic form of election. Okay. And these all rights should be protected in a development of protected by an independent judiciary. Independent judiciary can look after all these things, but in Zimbabwe there was not an independent judiciary. Also government after the election should be, after the election, before the election also it should be very good, transparent. After the election also there should be some qualities, or there should be some good things should be happen. What it is, what are these? First one, cannot do whatever it likes. An elected representative cannot do whatever he likes or whatever the government likes. It is take the decisions after many times of debates and discussions by the public. Okay. And it has to respect some basic rules. While they are taking a decision, it should be respect some basic rules of the society and the rights of the people. Respect some guarantees of the minorities. You know that minority people and majority people are there. Always we are considering the opinion of a majority, but the same way we have to identify, we have to consider and understand the problems of the minority people of India. Not only in India, those who are following the democratic form of government in all the parts of the world. And every major decisions should be taken after series of consultation. Very important factor. Every major decision should be taken. ഏതൊരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട തീരുമാനം എടുക്കുമ്പോഴും what should be after series of consultation. We don't take the decisions in hurry burry. We have to sit together in many times. We have to give chance to public opinion. We have to conduct discussions. After that a final decision, a good decision will come or arise. That only we have to take. Okay, that is why series of consultation, continuous discussions, then only we have to take a decision. All the officials or office bearer has a certain rights and responsibilities in a democracy. ഏതൊരു ഓഫീസ് കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും, ഡെമോക്രസിയിലെ ഏതൊരു ഓഫീസ് കൈകാര്യം ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും ആൻഡ് ഒഫീഷ്യൽസ് ആൻഡ് ഓഫീസ് ഷുഡ് ബി office bearer has certain rights and responsibilities. ഉത്തരവാദിത്തങ്ങളും കടമകളും അവകാശങ്ങളും അവർക്കുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ. and according to the constitution and the law, ഭരണഘടന അനുശാസിക്കുന്ന രീതിയിലായിരിക്കണം all the activities should be. Okay, they are accountable to the people and other officials. People cast their votes and selected the representatives, and they majority government form their own government. So they are accountable to the people. കണക്ക് പറയേണ്ടവരാണ്, ഉത്തരം പറയേണ്ടവരാണ്. Both these aspects, that is before and after election, what are the things to remember by the government and parties? Now we understood before the election and after the election what are the things we have to remember in a democratic form of country. And that is, a democratic government rules within the limits set by the constitutional law and citizens' right. പൗരന്മാരുടെ അവകാശങ്ങൾക്കും ഭരണഘടന അനുശാസിക്കുന്ന നിയമങ്ങൾക്കും അനുസൃതമായിട്ട് വേണം government should be do their activities. Okay, we can, my dear children, I think you got these topics, and now we are going to conclude the features of democracy. Can you remember how many features were there? Yes, 4 features were there. What was the first one? Decision should be taken by elected leaders. Second one, free and fair electoral competition. Third one person, one vote, one value. Fourth one, what it is? Rule of law and constitutional remedies. Rule of law, everyone should be equal before the law, and the responsibility should be going or taken under the constitutional rights. ഭരണഘടന അവകാശങ്ങളെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കണം every decision should be taken and every activities should be taken in a democratic country. So I think you got this topic. Okay, I didn't get bored, you didn't get bored, I think so. I think you understood. So my dear children, read this area and find out the important points what you got from this. Read continuously. And if you have any doubts, you can call me, I will clarify it. Okay, thank you, we will meet again. Okay.